Welcome to the
Markout movie podcast, Aaron.
I was trying to start with some music.
Oh, I thought you forgot where you were.
No, I don't like it. So I was trying to try some different music. Here we go. Welcome to the Markout movie podcast. Aaron Whitlow.
I'm Brandon Spivey, who has no clue what's going on.
And we are here to talk about Avengers Endgame. Let's go ahead and stop the music. Yeah. So there's a feature on this app that allows you to play music, and so I was like, let me try it out. But yeah,
And he let me know nothing.
Yeah, he didn't. He had no
clue. He
forgot
where he was at.
He had no clue that this was happening. All right, so no, I mean I'm aware of where I'm at. We are here, although you're there. But yeah, we're talking about Avengers Endgame. Before we jump into Avengers Endgame, as we do every week, we talk about what we watched, and we're gonna kick it off with something that Brandon is probably like chomping at the bit to talk about, and that is none other than Elvis. Brandon seen it. Seen his video on Facebook. The man was emotional. I thought he was gonna cry in the car, but
I cried before I got in the car.
I'm not ashamed.
I cried in the theater. I was crying when it was over. I was crying walking out. I was like, I'm supposed to do a reaction video. I can't be crying doing reactions.
There's no crying in the movie. No, that's fine. So what's your thoughts? What were your thoughts? I hadn't watched it.
Oh, my thoughts is
spoiler free.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything. I mean, we obviously know how it all ends, but I'm not familiar with Baz Luhrmann, his films. Like, he did Romeo and Juliet, Moulin Rouge, and The Great Gatsby. I know that's 3 of them. That's what he's known for.
I've seen Great Gatsby. I think I've seen all of those, actually.
I only seen Romeo and Juliet, and that was for Leo. So I don't really remember it. I remember enjoying it. I knew it was different, and his style was different. So he was perfect to direct this movie, though. His style, it just, oh, man. But it's like a roller coaster. It really is. It's so fast. It's very fast paced. You don't take breaks. And I think it's a good thing because it's life. It's fast. You know, I think that was the point of being so fast in this movie. But
your audio's cutting in and out, by the way.
Is it?
Yep. Can
you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm just letting you know. I'm making you aware.
Okay. I don't know why. It's plugged up and everything. But I thought it was amazing. I thought I've never experienced a biopic quite like this. It's very different. I think it's the best one, obviously, if you saw the reaction video. It's just one of my favorite films of all time, actually. I right now. I'm going to watch it again, of course, but it was just very emotional. I knew about 90% that happened in the movie, but there's a couple things I did not know, and it makes me hate Colonel Tom Parker even more. Tom Hanks, though, got to give him props. America's favorite dad, they say. You will hate him in this movie.
That was Cosby, wasn't it?
Well, they don't talk about Cosby anymore. They talk about Tom Hanks. But Austin Butler does not show up in this movie. It's Elvis for 3 hours. And I'm not joking. You don't see the kid from Nickelodeon at all. You see Elvis for 3 hours.
I didn't know. I'm not familiar with Austin Butler, whatever his name is. I don't know him.
You will like it because it shows where he got his music from.
Oh, because is that a question because it's black? Is that what you're saying?
No, but I know you brought that up like last year. He stole black people's music, and they never really explored that. B.B. King's in the movie. Little Richard. You know, so he gives respect, and they show a little bit of live footage as well throughout the movie. So it blends in nicely. It's my favorite film of the year.
Okay.
No doubt.
Well, your mic, I don't know if it's, I don't think it's my headphones, but your mic's just cutting in and out. But it's cool. I did catch that as your favorite film of the year. But I will say that what I watched was let's see, recently. I'm trying to think of anything that I've watched recently. What is it? I'm so dumb. All right, so I've watched. I'm watching the Last Kingdom. Oh, yeah, I have several things. Obviously, I finished Obi-Wan Kenobi. Um, uh, that was, I think, I loved it, man. I know some people are hating on it, but it's just Ewan McGregor is great, and so and getting to see Hayden Christensen again, it's just it's awesome. So I absolutely enjoyed it. Let's see. Um, the Boys is going strong, although I finished it, obviously because I can. But yeah, just like some good stuff. And then recently, The Last Kingdom, I've started watching that on Netflix. It's interesting. It's based on a guy's genealogy with his family having ties to the Saxon uh, people who was pretty much overran by the Danes, and now this is this one kid's this guy's journey to get back to what he's owed from his people, but and the fellowships he has to come across in the meantime. It's really good. Only thing, my big criticism of it is it's dark in some places. Or what are you moving there, Brandon?
My microphone.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you moving it. Yes.
I'll just making sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I absolutely enjoyed it. But yeah, I was trying to think of what I watched recently. Give me a brief moment. Anything else you watched
I
while I
watched
try to?
Lightyear
Oh yeah, I did watch Lightyear. I forgot about that movie.
already.
If I told you anything,
Yeah, I watched Lightyear too. um, uh, I enjoyed it. I don't know. I just felt like something was missing in the movie. I'm not gonna say Tim Allen. I thought Chris Evans did a good job. It's just I don't know. It didn't. I know it's not Toy Story, but it's a spinoff of Toy Story. It should feel something like Toy Story if you're a spinoff.
yeah.
And it didn't feel like anything like Toy Story. And I know it's not. It's they complicated things. It has nothing to do with the kiss, by the way. I don't care about that. Uh, I mean, Disney does whatever they want. I'm not gonna get into the politics about that. Just for the overall movie experience, it was I liked it, but I can't put my finger on what was missing. Fun, maybe.
Yeah.
It just wasn't fun. It was too serious. It felt more garnered toward adults than kids.
I do remember what I watched. So I
I'm
put
happy
it up.
that you remember.
I put it up on Letterbox. That's the only way I could remember. All right, Master, which is a Amazon Prime movie about two black uh, people that's at this predominantly white college. One is the new master of the college. The other is a freshman, and their experiences on the campus, and it's very eerie. And there's a legend, and there's something that happened years ago, and it's kind of hunting these people and who they are and who and how they're seen. So it's interesting. It was interesting, but it wasn't great. But yeah, so I give it a 2 on Letterbox. I talked about last week the taking of Deborah Logan. I thought that was interesting. I gave it on there 3 stars. Candy is is like a little short mini series that was like it's like a long movie essentially. That was interesting. It has Jessica Biel in it. It's based off true story. That was interesting. But what I really liked was the thing about Pam. It was like one of the best little short, entertaining, like murder criminal movies. And it has like Renee Zellweger as Pam. And it's so good. I loved it. I loved every little moment of it. It felt like more of like a dark comedy actually. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. it's good. But yeah, that's what I watched. Brandon, anything else before we
Well,
jump into
you watched Lightyear, but you haven't really gave your
like?
thoughts on.
Oh, Lightyear was, I don't know. It was I was bored more than anything else. I didn't find it that entertaining. I thought it looked great, and I thought Chris Evans did a great job. But yeah, I was thinking about honestly Tim Allen and why couldn't he be the voice of this thing? And I was thinking about like the cat thing was okay. The characters seemed like I don't know. I wasn't really there, man. I just really wasn't really feeling it. It wasn't bad, but I just wasn't. It was just I give it like maybe two. I
Wow, wow.
two and a half. I say two and a half markouts out of five.
That's that's hurtful for Lightyear, but a lot of people didn't go see it either. So I mean, they probably feel the way you feel. There was another film I was going to mention I watched. It was an Elvis film. The last one I did watch, King Creole with Walter Matthau,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one of the reasons why I want to bring it up because he brought so much to the story, playing his mob boss, and Elvis was really good in this movie as well. And if you haven't seen it, and I would check it out if you can find it anywhere. I bought it online, but it was a really good, serious take, a really good film. It was his best film he ever made. He even says that. Walter brought so much to the story. And it starts off like West Side Story a little bit though, with Elvis singing this black lady singing, and I thought, is it gonna be like West Side Story? I mean, but then it gets real serious. Man, I really liked it, and I wish he would have made more films like it. You
Yeah,
know,
I noticed that there's some lag going on with the videos too. Uh, did you
man, I'm
notice
just
that?
having a bad day.
Notice that?
I have not this
Yeah,
week.
yeah. I don't know. It just did it on my side of things. That's all. But anyway, well, let's jump into Endgame before this thing ends. So Thanos comes back. All right, Avengers Endgame discussion. This movie came out in 2019, starring everybody that was ever in a Marvel movie. Um, yeah, this computer is lagging, so I'm gonna go ahead and exit that and come back to Brandon because I don't want no problems. I'm gonna just limit it to just these two screen right here. So, all right, I'm gonna tell you what it's about. So, after the events of Infinity War, where Thanos snapped uh, half of the universe, or of everywhere away, including birds and everything, uh, the Avengers find out. Well, they try to see how to move from there, how to live from there, but then they find out that they have a chance from an unexpected visitor to go back and make things right. Essentially, to quantum leap this son of a bitch. um, it stars, like I said, Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr. Uh, the last time we see Chadwick Boseman, uh,
Yeah,
it has man, everyone,
it's
anyone,
a triple effect. It's now.
yeah, anyone you can think of that's been in other Marvel movies other than like Edward Norton, is pretty much in this movie. Uh, that survived, of course, sort of. All right, Brandon, you have the numbers.
I do have the numbers. I have the numbers. It's got an 8.4 out of 10 on IMDb. It's got a 78% on Metacritic, 94% like it on Google. It's got a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes with a 90% audience score. It is certified fresh.
Certified fresh. Uh,
I
yeah,
can't believe 10% didn't like this movie.
yeah, I'm surprised. Man, I don't know what the heck is this stuff. But anyway, uh, yeah, I was trying to pull up. I was going to try to see if I can go ahead and pull up the a quick clip from Endgame, but we're gonna see if the computer allows me to. Uh, let's see. Yeah, let's see. All right, this is so. Let's go ahead. Let's do it with this, here we are. I'm gonna go ahead and Brandon, can you still see me?
I can see you.
All right, good. All right, so here we are. Share screen. All right, so we're gonna play a real quick clip. I'm gonna have we're still kind of talk if we need to talk over it. Here we go. Let's get to it, and let's see what happens. Unless I made it worse.
I'm not seeing nothing, so I see something. Something's
You
happening.
see it now?
See it now. Okay.
God, seems like 1,000 years ago. I fought my way out of that cave, became Iron Man. Realized I loved you. I know I said no more surprises, but I was really hoping to pull off one last one.
Ooh.
The world has changed. None of us can go back.
All right, we'll stop it.
All we can do is our best. And sometimes the best that we can do is to start over.
All right, so we're back.
We are back, Aaron. We are back.
All right. So, although it says StreamYard not responding, my computer hates me.
Something you
Brandon,
did
are
to
you even, yeah, I
it.
shouldn't even mess
Remembers.
with it. Anyway, are you still there with me, right?
I'm here. I'm here.
Can you see me?
I see you. I hear you. You're good.
All right, there we go. Here I am. Oh no, I am. All right.
Oh boy.
Anyway, I'm still moving, right? You're still talking to me.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're here.
All right. Give me the numbers, Brandon.
I already did.
Did you already give me the number? Okay, my bad. This is going off the rails. Anyway,
I
Avengers.
don't think you know where you're at. I really do. I think you're a little bit lost today.
Fibromyalgia, Brandon. That's the key word there. Um, but yeah. So, wow.
Wow. Wow. I'm the wow too.
So the movie starts with it starts with Tony and Nebula, right, in space.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just like you see like the kind of relationship that they formed from being in space. By the way, the opening title sequence. So anyone that was snapped away was taken out of the opening title sequence. They still have like their backgrounds, but they don't have them in it. So it was interesting. I never knew that. I credit New Rock Stars for that information. I went to look at that breakdown just after I watched the movie, just kind of see if I missed anything.
Yeah.
And so they mentioned that, and I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. So I thought that was a interesting little thing that they did. So if you go back and watch the movie, those that's listening to this, look at the beginning Marvel little title sequence that they have at every movie, and look, and you can see empty spots where people would be there if they hadn't been snapped away. So yeah, um, but Nebula and Tony has become BFFs in space. But I love the dynamic between them two, and I love how compassionate Nebula is towards Tony, even you know, even in that, even in towards the end there, like in that moment. So
Yeah.
man, who knew that Nebula would become like actually pretty interesting character? So yeah. Um,
I mean, I always found her more interesting than Gamora. Actually,
hmm.
she's got more. She's got more backstory to her. You understand her story a little bit more than Gamora's. Uh, she's she's been neglected by Thanos, beaten, by Thanos. Just she's been tormented by Thanos. I mean, I've always liked her more. Than Gamora. So, but yeah, I like their banter back and forth at the beginning. And
I'm sorry. I'm
And I
telling
hear
you,
my voice coming through the
yeah, it's on Facebook. I didn't want to pull it up on the computer. Andy says, "What's up, Brandon?" And then he says, "What's up, Aaron? Thank you for shouting me out too, Andy. Thank you for being that guy." Andy and Andrew and 3 others are watching us, so thank you all for watching. We appreciate it. I'm going to try to talk about any comments that you all have. Um, but yeah, do you remember if you thought that this was the end of Tony at that point, or did you know that? Did you know in 2019 when you watched this that Captain Marvel will pop up to save him?
I mean, I kind of thought this would probably be the end of Tony or Captain America. You know, I figured one of them would die. I, you
You froze. All right,
I am
Brandon.
gone. I'm back.
Yes.
I don't know what's going
Jeez.
on.
I don't know,
Woo!
bro.
This
But yeah,
isn't good. Not good at all.
yeah. But anyway,
But yeah,
uh,
I didn't think we would lose both. But I kind of put my money on that Tony would kind of sacrifice himself. Just how Doctor Strange acted in Infinity War. You know, that look. And he
yeah,
looked at Tony that way as like, it's probably going to be him. And so, and plus you see him like, he's basically almost like a skeleton early on in the movie.
yeah.
It was hard to watch.
He's very
Tony,
malnourished.
yeah. But there's some things I like about the beginning. I didn't love the fact that they killed him early on, though. Not Tony, but Thanos. For people that are watching, I didn't like them happen. They happened like in the first 20 minutes. It was
Yeah.
like,
Well, there's a lot to unpack in in the first
yeah,
20
there
minutes.
is.
So there's obviously the stuff between like them for the first time really interacting with Carol Danvers uh, as Captain Marvel, and they brought up questions that every boy and every fanboy we've been asking, like, where were you at during the whole everything? Where you been at? And she's like, what Thanos did here, happened everywhere. And no, yeah, no, yeah, and she's like, well, there's a big universe, and they don't have a protection, so they don't have the Avengers. So I'm being the Avengers for them out there, I guess. Um, so it's
Good
all
save.
that,
It's a
huh?
good save.
Yeah. But
Creatively, it's a good save.
yeah, there was like, man, there was like, I love the stuff with you can see the you can see with Thor how initially how beside himself he was, that
Yeah,
he's probably in his head like, I didn't go for the head. I should have went for the head. I should have went for the head. Like there's so many people that probably blame themselves for Thanos winning. Like I know that Cap blamed himself. He feels like he couldn't stop him. Iron Man feels like he couldn't stop him. You know, Peter Quill, it was really his fault. It was Peter's fault. Peter did
but
it.
he can't blame himself because he's no longer there.
Yeah, he can't blame himself. He's an idiot. Peter is an idiot. Jeez.
Just the emotions get you. You know, they get you sometimes. You get
Yeah.
emotional and you don't think about what you're saying. And you just react.
Yeah.
But and here's a guy that did blame himself, and I do blame him too. I blame him. Bruce
Dude,
Banner.
you
Yeah, you
blame
didn't
Bruce?
show up. Well, Hulk didn't show up. You showed up, but the Hulk didn't show up. Yeah, it is your fault. If you showed up, maybe they had a better chance.
Well, he didn't get it, but and we'll talk about that because we got to get to that part. But like, I love that. So they find out where Thanos is through Nebula, and Thanos is now pretty much retired. He's like a
Yeah,
farmer, uh,
yeah,
and he's like a shell of himself. He's not nowhere near. He's not the Thanos that we come to know and loathe. You know, uh,
yeah.
but it was
Broken.
interesting. Yeah, he's broken. Like him getting what he wanted. Did it really leave him the way? Like he mentioned that he destroyed the stones because uh, they were too much temptation, having all that power.
Yeah,
And so, man, that whole sequence where they cut his hand off, Carol Danvers came in and like bum rushed him, and then like eventually we know that, as you said, Thor went for the head this time.
He went for the head.
And boy, oh boy. Yeah, so how do I feel? You asked me how did I feel about that. Um, in 2019, I felt like, oh well, what is this movie? Like I
Yeah,
felt like
movie's over.
yeah,
They
what's this
killed
movie gonna
Thanos.
be about? In credits, you know. But yeah, I was like, what is this movie gonna be? But now watching it, I know that, you know. But you know what's also, it'd probably been better off they did face the Thanos uh, that was at the farm at the retirement, because that Thanos has experienced loss and more emotion and is more mature, you know, and more sympathetic
Mm-hmm.
than the younger Thanos who don't. He's like he is he hasn't experienced that loss. So right now he's still in that. Yeah, I'm the best. I'm the guy. I kill everyone. It doesn't really matter. You're fleas to me. It's like what Thanos is like. I'm not saying that I feel that way. It's what Thanos feels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you. I feel that, and I agree with it. You know, he has experienced loss. He is, as you said, more sympathetic. Man, he's just, you said it too. He's a shell of his former self, and you feel bad. I felt bad. Like when I watched it the first time this happened, I was like, I agree, like you. What's this movie about? I don't like this. I don't like the direction. We built up this war and it's over. And then it gets where it's going. But in this moment, I was upset. Rewatching it last night or yesterday afternoon because I watched 3 movies yesterday. But getting back to this, I was like, I understood. With time, you understand things more than you do in the moment. And I was like, there's a bigger picture here. It's not really about killing Thanos, getting revenge on Thanos. It's about bringing everybody back. But there's a price. You will have to pay to bring everybody back.
You know what? Also, I noticed in watching this is how I feel like they robbed Nebula of a moment that she was looking for, her whole existence. She was looking
Yes.
for that affirmation from Thanos, from her father, and he says, "Maybe I was too harsh on you, daughter." And I felt like he had more that he was going to say, but Thor,
Thor don't care. Thor's
yeah,
all about revenge at this point.
yeah, but that's also I feel I actually ached for Nebula
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, that's still her father. Even though he's a terrible father, but as her father, and that's emotional for any child, I guess, to go through a loss of a parent, even though that parent may have been a big old butthole, but or as Quill calls him a nutsack, but.
Well, I have a
But
question for you though. After this, 5 years go by,
mhm.
and we'll get to all the characters and what they faced in 5 years. But what did you think of Thor's transformation?
Oh, we got yeah. So since you asked me, we'll go ahead and go there. So like
I just didn't
initially
want to forget it.
in 2019, I was shocked to see it. I didn't see that happening when he turned around with a belly. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? And I didn't like it. I was like, I don't like seeing this. But then like I got used to Fat Thor, and so or Thor Lebowski, I guess. The dude Thor. But yeah, I got used to uh I got used to him. And it leaned into his being he's more of the comic relief in the in the
Yeah.
in the in the show.
Since
Uh
Ragnarok, he stepped up his game a lot.
yeah. But then also I noticed that with so 5 years from that point, well, what was your thoughts on it before I moved on from there?
Well, in theaters, it wasn't good. I hated it. It's like, I don't. They're making him comedy, and it's not. I mean, Thor is funny to an extent, but I feel it was just too much. He came a baby essentially, and I was like, I don't like this. Rewatching it, it's about development, character development with him. He's developing a lot since Ragnarok. So it is a good thing we kind of went back and watched these weekly, once a week. So you can see all the developments these characters have done. And Thor has developed tremendously since Ragnarok. So I appreciate it that they went this route.
Yeah.
You get the whole big picture with these character arcs. So
Oh,
I like it
closure.
now, but I didn't
Yeah,
like it then.
I feel like Thor got great closure. That he got, and we're going to talk about him when we get to him. But I think he got more closure than Loki would have ever had. Because Loki wants to see his mother again too, and Loki
Yeah.
wanted to have a moment because Loki blames himself for his mom's death. Um, and but Thor, I was glad to see Thor was able to see his mother and have a whole conversation with her, and she knows, well, you're my son, but my son from somewhere else. But she's so loving and
Yeah.
she's motherly, and I love that. I love that he needed that. He needed his mother to tell him everything's gonna be okay. And so I could feel that, man. Losing my mom, I can feel that. It hit me in the feels because I'm like, I would love to have that one more moment where, I'm with, talking to my mother. It's just it hit me. This movie had me crying. I ain't gonna lie to you, Brandon. Yesterday, I was a teary mess, man, in several points, and I'm not afraid to
Yeah,
admit
I
it.
feel you. I teared up. I teared up towards the end. I was so excited though. I was feeling it. I had goosebumps all over me. So I was really feeling it. But towards the end, I mean, it's sad. And not just with the death scene, you know. Oh, there's two deaths, big deaths. I didn't feel Natasha's as much as I should
Oh,
have.
I
I
did
felt it
now.
more in theaters
I
than
felt
here.
I think I feel it now more. Now seeing the scope of everything of what
Yeah,
I've seen so far, I felt her death a little bit more. Before we get there, I do want to talk about the next thing that we noticed is that flash forward at 5 years in the future, like you stated, and it seems like Cap is now has he has like a support group that he's running.
yeah.
Tony is married and has a child named Morgan, a 5 year old little girl named Morgan. Uh, assume she's five. And then who else? What else? It seemed like Scarlet, not Scarlet, but
Ant-Man comes back.
yeah, we got. That's what I was trying to get to. But yeah, Black Widow's pretty much running the Avengers, and we know that your boy the what's it, the Arrow Falcon, not Falcon, what's his
Okay.
name? Hawkeye. Yeah, so he's a serial killer
He gets
essentially.
to have his moments again. But
Yeah,
I love him in this movie. Absolutely love him in this movie. I love Ronan. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I love.
yeah.
He is vengeance. And I don't mean Batman, but he is vengeance.
I
Early
love
on,
seeing him. Like, yeah, him as a character, Clint as a character, man. Uh, like going back and watching all these makes me appreciate him more. Not only
yeah.
that, it makes me appreciate Jeremy Brenner more as a actor
Oh, he's great.
because he's the emotional depths he goes in
Mm-hmm.
his in this and I felt more anguish for him with Natasha's death than for actually Natasha because it's got to be heavy to have on you that he was wanting to sacrifice himself because he feels unworthy to see his family again because of the things he's done, but she can't see a world where his kids have to be raised without him, and so she's willing to sacrifice herself um, for the greater good,
Yeah.
And man, it was a really powerful moment. It's more powerful. I think it's more powerful for me now than it was in theaters because now I kind of, with the full scope of everything I've seen, it resonates with me more. Um,
Before we go on, can we go back a little bit? I feel
yeah.
we should touch on this because we didn't get it in Infinity War, but we did get it early on in Endgame. Captain America and Tony Stark.
Oh yes. Yeah. Yeah.
After they
We
reunite, and it was an emotional scene. And Tony, was in his shape that he was in. But I loved it when he said, We'll win together and we'll lose together." And he said that Cap said that, but you weren't here. We lost and you weren't here. We didn't do it together. I love that. I mean, it was so emotional, and you can
You
see
know,
it in Tony's eyes. You can see it in Cap's eyes. There's so much remorse there. I mean, it was great. I loved it.
one of my favorite scenes though with them two was when Tony first got back and Cap grabbed him and was walking with him, and Tony says, I couldn't beat him like that defeat that
Yeah,
I couldn't stop him. I couldn't stop him. And he's like, I couldn't either, like, so they both know that. And then like he said, and then it hit him. I lost a kid, and we know
yeah.
the kid he's referring. Oh, talk about a moment, man, where I was teary eyed when the moment that he swung through there. I was like, oh yes. I was like, yes. I was so excited. Just we're gonna talk about that, but yeah, I would show it, but I'm not gonna do it again because I don't want another fiasco to happen. The moment where everybody pops up is one of my favorite moments. But
Oh, it's everything coming together. What they started with Iron Man to this moment here, it's beautiful. I was taking little video shots and putting it on Snapchat as I was watching the movie last night, and I was saying I feel it. Just I was so excited. I was like a little kid in a candy store, man. Just I was
yeah,
so excited to hear Cap say Avengers
assemble.
assemble. It
We've been
was
waiting. We know how long we've been waiting for, and they keep teasing.
yes.
They kept teasing and teasing,
And
teasing.
it's so
But
sad he only gets to say it once. You know?
what'd you say? No, I don't know. I didn't hear you.
It's so sad that he only gets to say it once. Chris Evans as
Yeah,
Captain America.
yeah.
But
We'll
it was
talk
worth
about
the
that.
wait.
But yeah. So as we stated before, so Scott Lang is helped out via a rat. Um, was able to get out of his, quantum realm, and
Mm-hmm.
for him, he explained it. So for him, it's only been 5 hours, but for them, it's been 5 years. So
Yeah.
time works differently in the quantum realm. That's why he hadn't really aged, which is interesting. Um, man,
Plus
it's interesting.
it's
Well,
him.
well, also
Paul
they
Rudd.
age. Yeah, yeah. Well, then it's Paul Rudd, but yeah, but also, I think that they're actually a little off on that too because I don't know if his daughter. I don't know what Hope would be. Not Hope, but his daughter. I don't know if she'd be as like was she an adult or was she still a teenager? She seemed like an
She's
adult.
supposed to be 15.
Oh, she looks like a total grown up, man. What? But
Yeah, the girl that's playing her in the new Ant-Man movie is from Freaky. She's done some other stuff too, but she was the main girl from Freaky
oh yeah, I like her.
with Vince Vaughn. And I don't know if that was her in Endgame or not.
No, it wasn't her in Endgame. I would have
And I
recognized
didn't
her.
really I wasn't really paying attention at that point. Kind of looked down. She was there and gone. It was, I knew who it was, but I really didn't get a good look at the face. So I didn't know if that was her or not. But I hate when they recast though characters. I don't like it. But I know for the story it needs to be recast. But I don't know. Going forward, I don't like moving. I don't like recasting actors. But it was, man. It's gotta suck for him, because he's what was her name?
I forget her. I forget his. He called her Peanut. I don't remember her
Yeah, he
name.
called her Peanut, but was it Macy? Was it
Matt, something like that. I don't
something like
remember.
that? That's gotta suck for him. I mean, 5 years you've been without your daughter, and I'm assuming the daughter's probably, I don't know. Chances are she didn't have parents anymore. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, it sucked for everybody. Everybody lost everything,
yeah, yeah.
and
Nobody's right. Like nobody's. Oh
but I
man, I love.
love the fact that he wants to Back to the Future it.
Yeah, I love that he brought that reference in there. He says, "Yeah, so we don't interact with our old selves, and we don't." And they're like, he's like, "Are you tell me that you're not taking your everything you know from like Back to the Future?" And they mentioned, I love that little spiel where they mention all the time travel movies, And they're saying, well, that's not how time travel works. Which with this movie, I don't quite understand how time travel works. So in the quantum realm, you can go back to say your past, but it won't be you then. It would be another you then, and to be your so that's no longer your future because you already went back to the past. So you can't go and like kill somebody because like kill Hitler or whatever,
Yeah.
and because it doesn't change the future because that just makes an alternate. It makes a variation of the timeline, and it's explained a little bit more in Loki, but I do understand it because of Loki. But yeah, it's interesting though. Because my first thought was, why did you go back and kill Thanos? But it's not. You can't. It doesn't solve anything. You got to go back and I guess get the stones, snap, and then return the stones in where they came from exactly when you took them,
Yeah.
uh, or you would, you know,
And I love that they're trying to convince Tony to do it, and he's like, no, it's impossible. But at the same time, he's like, I got a family now. He's got a little girl now. And he doesn't want to risk it, losing her. And then he looks at the picture with the boy, as we call him.
yeah, the boy.
um, Peter.
Well, no, he goes to the kid. The kid.
Yeah, the kid, Peter. And that's a touching moment, and no words are said. It's just touching.
My
See the
favorite.
look on his face, and
Yeah,
he knows he's got to.
yeah, and man, I can't wait till we get to this part in the conversation. But yeah, so when so I like that they did. So they try to figure it out, but and they Brandon, I was going to ask you this because yes, it's going to move the story along. We get Smart Hulk.
No. I still hate it, man. I still hate it.
We get Smart Hulk. Wow.
I do. I
I
still
don't.
hate it.
It's a weird thing, and it's not consistent because when we see him in the end credit to Shang-Chi, he's regular Hulk. He's not Smart Hulk. So
I
it's
think
not.
they changed it because they knew the fans' response was bad, negative towards the direction they were taking him. I really do. I think they listened to their fans, and they will. I think that's pretty evident that they listened to the fans. But I didn't like it. I didn't like it in theaters. Oh, I hated it in theaters. And
You don't
with
like
this
it
movie,
now, still.
I don't like it now. I lose respect for Mark Ruffalo every time I see him as play Hulk. I have no idea. Like, I'm not excited about the She-Hulk series at all. I know we're going to review it, but I don't want to watch it because of him. He disgusts me. What he's done to the character. I hate it, man. I want Edward back, man. I really do.
Hashtag not my Hulk.
Not my Hulk at all. But, for where they were going, yes, Banner is a very intelligent scientist, but I don't know, I didn't like the direction. But at the time, I was thinking, at least he's going to fight Thanos in the end of this movie. It's a given.
No, we don't get that. We don't.
We don't. We don't get that either.
Yeah, and I feel like his storyline was unresolved. Really, like I guess they wanted to say his storyline was to resolve the Hulk and Banner, but no, his storyline should have been also, the reason why the Hulk is quiet is because he got his butt handed to him by Thanos.
Yeah,
but he never fixes that.
Yeah,
but
But the best part about Hulk in this movie is 2012 Avengers film.
we
Seeing
get
that
the Hulk. We
That
get the Hulk.
The real Hulk.
I love like so. Before we get there, so they try to work it, but Tony figures it out because if you don't do it right, then time will go through the person
Yes.
instead of you going through time.
I love that
And
scene.
so
with
and
Ant-Man.
that kind of makes sense. I like that. And so, and Tony's smart enough to
I guess
create
he
time
is
travel.
actually smarter than Bruce Banner.
Yeah, yeah.
They
Tony
made
is.
that evident in this movie anyway, that
Yeah,
he's smarter than Bruce. So,
but
but I did love
yeah,
the Ant-Man scenes as a baby, as a kid, as an old man. And then he comes back as him. So
I
someone,
felt like Rocket was so disrespectful to Ant Man. He called him, oh, you're like a little puppy. You want to go to space, little puppy? You know, he's like, I was like, come on, Rocket. But yeah, no, man. Yeah, we'll go ahead and start getting to the New York stuff. I love that. So the groups go to different places. You have Cap, Tony, Ant Man, and Hulk, Smart Hulk, going to like New York, which I love that scene where they show them spinning and stuff, and then you like zoom in and they're like in the alley or whatever,
mm-hmm.
and and then you have Nebula and War Machine, Rhodey. They go to the Guardians of the Galaxy planet. They go then 2018, I think. Is it 2020? No, not 2018. I don't know when it was, but
14. It was 2014.
so, yeah, so they go there, and then what else?
Hawkeye and Black Widow.
They go to they go to get the Soul Stone, which
Yeah.
they shouldn't have opted for that one, but but anyway,
Should have sent Hulk there.
that's messed up. Hulk, man, no, fans will riot if you killed Hulk. Honestly, if you would have killed him, even if it's the worst, because
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I would
yeah,
have been very
nobody,
upset.
yeah, but I do think I love that whole little thing. Like I like it, but actually it made me mad when he's like, "Hey," because he's seen the other Hulk going through smashing stuff and being the Hulk,
Yeah.
He's like, "You should smash some things along the way." He's like, I think it's a little gratuitous, but okay. And so he goes through, he just can't
Yeah.
hit the car, and just like,
I hated it.
it's just like, come on, man. It's like, I guess it was supposed to be played for laughs, but
Yeah, but
I don't think I laughed at all. I don't think in theater anybody laughed at. I don't
yeah,
remember, but
I think I shook my head both times.
yeah,
Theater and watching it last night. I just it wasn't funny. It was unnecessary, and you're just ruining your character. You just stop it. Just stop it.
Hell Hydra. So, what do you think about Cap being Hydra? What was that?
I had totally forgot that they brought Robert Redford back, and what was his Crossbone?
Yeah,
I forgot they came back for this movie, and I felt good seeing them again because I totally hated how they killed him in Civil War, and and then Robert Redford. We haven't seen him since, so it was good. It was just good to see Robert Redford. I mean, he's an amazing talent.
we had seen him since
Decades.
Winter Soldier. We hadn't seen him since Winter Soldier, actually.
No. Crossbones was in Civil War. He died in
I
the
said
beginning.
Redford.
Redford we hadn't seen since Winter Soldier, but
yeah,
I was meaning Civil War for Crossbone.
okay, I feel you, but yeah, it was cool moment. I thought we was gonna get a replay of the famous elevator fight scene, but I'm glad that he said Hell Hydra, and it was like, and I love that it's done for comedy, but it's really worked. And then we got to see America's ass, of course. But yeah. Another thing that I wanted to mention is the stuff. I love seeing the ancient one. I missed the ancient one actually. She was like one of my favorite parts in
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, and so I loved seeing her on screen. I kind of forgot that she's in this in the movie.
Yeah, I did too.
Until she popped up, I'm like, yes, I love seeing her. But she man, oh man, I miss her. I'll break her.
What else? She knew exactly when Doctor Strange was supposed to come to her.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
she knows the future.
She knows the future. Yeah, and yeah, she knows her future. She knows his future. She knows all futures. She pretty much.
I forgot about that in Doctor Strange because I didn't like the movie, so I kind of I forget stuff that I don't like. But yeah, when watching it, I was like, that's a cool aspect, that she actually knows the future. knows exactly when he's coming, and he's not here yet. So
But
I really enjoy that scene though with her and Hulk.
did you like? I felt like the part of the movie that kind of for me lagged, which they did it for. I know why they did it, but the part of the movie that lagged for me is the stuff with Stark and Howard Stark and
Really?
and Cap. I just didn't really like 1970s. I didn't really like that whole sequence, but I understand why they did it.
I think it gave Tony a lot of closure,
Yeah,
especially with how it ends. I mean, he really got closure with his dad.
and got to know that his dad was actually looking forward to his coming,
Yeah.
and he says
So
he ain't
I
here
really,
yet, but there's nothing I wouldn't do for him.
yeah, I really liked that scene, that whole segment, and then of course Cap sees,
Peggy,
Captain Carter, as
Peggy.
I know you liked her in the multiverse. Sees Carter, and then that scene happens. I'm like, that's the point where I'm like, he's gonna go back in time. He ain't gonna come back. I felt that when he saw her. I was like, then it switched for me. That it was gonna be Captain America, not Iron Man, that's gonna leave this franchise. Originally, and that's because I did not expect both of them to leave.
Yeah.
It's pretty low.
Yeah, and then we have also I love the sequence on where Peter Quill is, and they recreated his little beginning
Oh yeah, that
dance thing, and
was
then they
great.
pull back and just like you hear him singing really badly. Yeah, it's just
And Rhodey says he's an idiot. It's like, I was like,
and
yes,
Nebula
you
says,
get him. He's great.
"Oh
We
man,
need an idiot in this franchise.
yeah, he is an idiot though. Oh man,
He's a
he,
lovable idiot, though.
he's our idiot." But yeah, man, let's go ahead and get to. So they do end up getting the stones. Obviously, we know that they
Yeah.
lose Natasha.
There's one.
They lose one. They get the stones. The only Hulk you see when he hulks out is when he threw the bench. Like that was the Hulk
Yeah.
when he
Yeah.
threw the bench. I didn't realize he did it until like watching it this time around. I'm like, oh, he
Yeah.
threw the bench. But yeah, man, and they snap the fingers and
Before we get there, though, when Loki takes the stone, how'd you feel about that? Because that
oh
opened
yeah,
the door for him
yeah.
to stay in this franchise.
Oh well, let me tell you this. So me seeing Loki anytime is
Yes.
always rewarding. And so when I saw him again, and he's like, I'll take that drink," and then like he's like mocking Captain America and stuff like that. I really loved him. I love seeing him. And then like when he gets the Tesseract and he disappears,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it's like yes. I'm like yes. And
It's
I'm like
victory.
we have him back. We have Loki
But we
back.
lose a stone. Therefore, we have to lose a massive character because of it.
So the universe has to balance itself. You're saying?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't think about it that way. So if you get Loki back, we gotta lose someone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, I never thought about it that way, Brandon. That's a good way of looking at it. That's interesting.
Sad way of looking at it, but it's also the truth, though. I mean, it's because if
Well,
he doesn't do that, then he stays dead, obviously. But they don't have to go back to 1970s.
yeah. Well, the thing is, man. So they snap everybody back, and at the same time, unbeknownst to them, we got evil Nebula who infiltrates the
Yeah.
crew, and she's obviously evil Nebula. Like just you
Oh yeah.
look at the way she responded to like where she at, just kind of looking around like a animal caged. And so you can tell. But anyway, yeah. So but we get Thanos. We get like old school Thanos, old wrecking ball Thanos. Uh, but I love that whole him waiting, and we get Cap, Thor, and Iron Man. They go out there. It's almost like meeting on the field, like a football game. You
Yeah.
know, yeah. And so we get them. going out there and like yeah, they fight. The fight is on, man, uh and they there's several times when they almost get him, and then like he brings his troops in, and obviously everything goes, and at some point it looked like oh, I love. What do you think about Cap getting Mjolnir? The Mjolnir.
Yeah.
What do you think about
I
him
love
getting?
when Thor said, "I knew it."
Yeah,
I love that. I love that. I love that. And that whole scene was great, by the way. I mean, that whole fight scene was great. It's just, I think the fans that have been here since day one, it's like Hulk should have been there. He's one of the original Avengers. He
should
should
have
have
been
been
there.
there.
Oh,
But
they misused the Hulk real bad. I thought now I did notice that Hulk did pop up on the battlefield, but he
yeah, he
never
was.
fights Thanos. I didn't even realize I thought he like disappeared
No,
after
he was there for that. But
he did nothing really. He wasn't a Hulk. He did nothing.
well, I mean, his shoulder was pretty banged up
No,
for that snap he did. So,
poor baby.
but yeah, I mean, it's you will have some gripes about this movie. I think if you've been here since day one, But I did love what Thanos said. He said this wasn't personal, but I'm really going to enjoy killing off your universe. And he says I made a mistake. I shouldn't have killed 50%. I should have killed everybody, and that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing that now. It's like they really upset him.
Yeah. You made Thanos mad. You didn't think Thanos could do worse. He said, "No, I can do worse. Everybody about to die, and then we're gonna have him start back."
You're at that point where oh God, they're at that point where they're all gonna die, and then who pops in Cap's earpiece?
Oh, so well, Cap, it gets up. Did he give the "I can do this all day" line, or he just stands up?
I don't think he said it.
I don't think he does. Like he just stands up, and I thought he's about to say it, but then like it said, you hear Sam say, "Hey, Cap, can you hear me, Cap?" He says, "On your left," and then Wong got that portal open, and I thought it's gonna be him at first coming through, but then actually, I started tearing up when I seen T'Challa, aka Chadwick, because I'm like, oh man, it saddens me that he's gone. It really, even now, man, I'm completely sad that he's gone, and and just seeing him, I'm like, I marked out for him because I'm like, yes, it's awesome, and then just to see all these portals open and all these people start to come through, and there's so many markout moments, man. When the ladies all team up, when she's not alone, well, not she's not alone, she has help or whatever, and it's like pretty much all the ladies popping up. I love that. I was like, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, it was. This was the moment you've been waiting for since whole thing started. All these comic book characters coming together to fight off Thanos and his army, and man, it was. You could literally feel the goosebumps. My hairs were standing up. I had that experience today, actually, watching Elvis, but this is a different experience. It was joy seeing all these characters.
When Peter swung through, how'd you feel when Peter swung through and landed? And you like?
I mean, I've been a fan of Spider-Man since I was a kid, which I would think most comic book fans have. He's probably one of everybody's favorite. It was just joy seeing him pop up and come back, and it's like, yes, we've missed you. Even though it's only been like a year at that point in time, we hadn't seen you, but we missed you. And I do kind of, for this universe they're doing, he is the best Spider-Man. You just feel something special with him. I mean, I love Toby, and Toby will be my favorite, but for what they're doing in a shared universe, he is the best. I have to say that. And he's nothing but he's just joy, man. How can you not like him? I mean, honestly.
Man, and they was, and I love the whole football sequence where they are running with the gauntlet thing, the glove, and it's like it reminded me of football. T'Challa takes it and he's running with it. Then like so many people start running. Then like but he starts coming down and starts raining down fire on him essentially. Oh man! But then I'm not gonna lie to you, Brandon. I marked out when the guns start pointing toward the sky and start firing. They said, "What's it doing?" Because it's pointing at a bigger threat. And
Yeah.
so, and then like, what's the point? And then next thing you know, something just entered our. It's the shooting is something that just entered our atmosphere. And Carol Danvers comes through and
Yeah.
destroys the ship. And I said yes. I was
See,
actually
she's
happy to
another
see.
one. She's like Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
I hope she gets better as she goes.
yeah. They
She
have the
works
Marvel
so
show.
well with an ensemble cast.
They have the Marvel. Yeah, well, that's the thing. The next thing you're gonna see her in next year, I think, is the Marvels, which is like Captain Marvel, um, Miss Marvel, and I forget what the
Well, that should work
other.
well. I think she works well with others. So
Yeah,
she's got that Doctor Strange kind of feel.
yeah,
That
she does.
works better with
But
others.
man, I love when Thanos try to headbutt her and she like doesn't move. She just like look at him like yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah.
But uh, but yeah, I just love that. Oh man, I love that. I love the whole fight thing. I mean, it just was a great moment. But the thing that we get to, Brandon, we're getting there. Oh, before we get there, I love that we had a moment between Iron Man and
Oh yeah.
Peter.
I thought you were gonna go somewhere else.
What?
I thought you were gonna go when Wanda shows up.
Oh
She's
yes.
angry.
Oh, I love that.
And she's so angry at Thanos. And he's like, I don't even know who you are. You will. Yeah, but
Yeah.
that was a big moment for me. But yeah, I agree. I agree with you. The
You
moment
know,
with
you
Tony
know
and
how
Peter.
powerful she is too, right? Yeah, you
Yes.
absolutely
Yeah,
know.
you especially when she's angry. It's not someone you want to make mad.
No.
But yeah, I agree. Tony and Peter's moment. Just oh man, it just puts a smile on your face to see that moment happen.
And it's like a callback to when he first thought that Tony was hugging him and he tried to give him a hug. He says, "No, we're not there yet, kid." And he lets
We're
him out the
there
car.
now.
But they're there. We here now.
Yeah.
And like it's so for Tony, Peter is his son. It's his son. And oh man, and I got another gripe though. When we get there, well, I don't have a gripe, but well, I have a gripe. I can say it because we know what happens with Spider-Man and stuff. I do miss that he no longer has the Tony Tech. Uh, I don't mind him having his original Spider costume, but I miss Iron Spider. I do miss Iron. I like Iron Spider. I'm probably one of the only people that actually loved him having the smart iron like the nanotech suit. I loved
I
it.
mean, it was fun. I'll give it that. I like the original suit better, but I did enjoy the Iron Spider suit. It was fun. It was especially fun, in his own movie. He was figuring stuff out. But yeah, I like the suit though. I'm not gonna gripe at the suit.
We got to see instant kill. Yeah, he showed his instant kill. But oh yeah, let's get to the part, the moment, the man of the hour, the literal Iron Man of the hour. So, uh, he Thanos tries to get the gauntlet, the glove on, and Doctor Strange. He looks over. Tony looks at Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange puts up that one finger because he asked him earlier. He says, "Was this it? Is this what you saw?" He says, "If I tell you what I saw, it won't happen." If he told him you're gonna have to die to save everyone, then he wouldn't have done it. But the moment that he looked at him and Tony knew what he had to do,
Yeah,
and Strange knew what he had to do, and said, "The one chance, the one opportunity we have. This is the one time we win. If you do this." And he had to do it. But man, I loved it. Like he grabbed the stones and put them on, and and he says I'm inevitable, and
yeah.
then he said, "Well, I'm Iron Man. I am Iron Man." Oh, and then like they snapped away, and then Thanos like one of the last ones to go away. But man, man.
He was in shock, utter
But
disbelief.
then the moment, Brandon.
Yeah, it was a
The
moment.
death. I was oh, I was I think I was teary eyed, especially when Peter started crying, and then Pepper was like, "It's okay, you can rest." Oh no, I was like, no. She's like, we're gonna be okay. I was like, we're not. Pepper, stop lying to me. We're not gonna be okay. Tony's gone.
Yeah, it was a. I have to say it's probably the biggest moment in the MCU's history. I mean, and I don't get me wrong, I love seeing the three Spider-Men together, and it was huge. But that moment he snaps, I says, "I am Iron Man." It's just, yeah,
It's the completion of everything.
yeah, it's everything, and you feel it afterwards. You know, the sacrifice he had to do. I mean, you felt that.
I was about to bring this up to you because we talked about this earlier when we was reviewing like Iron Man and other stuff. Tony would never really he sacrifice himself, and there's like foreshadowing of him dying to save humanity. Uh, but like for him to make it to this moment in his life where he is willing to lose seeing his daughter grow up, seeing being with Pepper, just living because he knew that he has to. The only way to beat Thanos is to snap Thanos away, and the only one that can do it at that moment is him.
Yeah.
And not survive. And that's just like man, that's like talk about a completed story arc of a
Mm-hmm.
character.
Yeah.
So
And and looking back through it all, it should have been him. If there was no other choice. No, there really wasn't. I know some people probably say Captain America. No, no, because Tony started it all. And for it to continue, he needs to sacrifice himself. It was the right decision to make, not just creatively, but for the whole story arc, how we got here from beginning to now. There was no other choice. It really wasn't.
yeah. So all right, after he dies, we have his funeral scene, which was everyone shows up, even the
Yeah.
kid from 3. Everyone shows up.
And I know some people griped about that because Natasha didn't really get anything. It's like, oh, she died. Let's move on. But you kind of had to go move on because the war was not over, And I know they didn't do anything for her in this movie, but I hope they did something for maybe Hawkeye. I know her sister comes back and all that, so I'm hoping they respected her character some way.
We get to see T'Challa and Wakanda again. We get to see so many people to move on in their lives and stuff. But I love the funeral scene. I love seeing everyone. Love seeing Nick Fury popping up. Just like I was just, oh man, that's another moment, man. I was like teary eyed, like watching that. And then
The only thing about Nick is that he wasn't there to participate in the war. I would have loved to see Nick Fury participate.
Mhm.
I mean, he's been a big part of this whole franchise as well. I mean, but it was good seeing him pop in though. I always love seeing Sam, so it's always a pleasure. But I agree with you. It was a big moment. It was a good scene. It was sad, but
I love seeing and then like we get to so let's set up where everybody's going from there. We have obviously Thor with the Guardians, the Asgardians of the Galaxy. Thor: Love and Thunder, which we have coming out next week.
no, it's in 2 weeks.
It's in 2 weeks. Okay.
Minions is next week.
Oh, and then we have so we set that up. We set up Peter with Far From Home, like him going back to school, and you know we set up a few things, but I want to talk about something that we didn't set up, or they set up, but obviously they can't do. Is they set up Chadwick in Wakanda again, which we know unfortunately Chadwick Boseman passed away, and
Yeah.
I don't know where they're going to go with that franchise, man. I honestly don't. I know they're not going to recast him. I heard that Kevin Feige said that he was not going to recast him. So that, but so maybe they're going to have him die, and maybe even I don't know. I was going to say in Thor. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to play it off, but
It's gonna be
uh,
hard. I mean, it's gonna be hard to pull that off for Black Panther moving forward without Black Panther.
yeah,
Obviously somebody's gonna take the mantle, but I don't know. Chances are you're gonna upset people
yeah,
in Wakanda. Uh, the next movie, you're just gonna have people upset,
yeah.
no matter what you choose.
People everywhere, not just Wakanda.
Well,
Right? Yeah,
I'm just talking about that film in general. I
yeah,
think audience is going to be a little underwhelmed.
yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully, I am. I just, I don't know. I don't know. Like you, I don't know where they go from it.
Yeah. Well, all right. We can go ahead and anything else you have left before we get to
Well,
our marks?
Captain America had to return the stones.
Oh yeah. And Captain America. Oh yeah. We got that's another thing we set up. So Captain returns to Stone. She stays in 1970. I assume that's when he stayed. And then from there he went on to be with Peggy, and but also didn't Peggy have kids? So wouldn't they
Yeah,
have? So didn't he like? So they never. That's kind of selfish, Cap. Um, you know,
that was his soulmate, though. You gotta be happy for him.
I would be, but he kind of robbed somebody else from existing by doing that. But anyway, uh,
Yeah, I guess he did.
uh, but uh, but yeah, no, I thought it was a good moment, and where like Bucky, I didn't notice this until watching it this time around. Bucky knew that Captain wasn't gonna come back. He
Yeah, he
said
did.
because the way that they were saying their goodbyes, it felt final for them to, uh, you know. Uh, so Bucky knew that he wasn't gonna come back. He knows him longer. Bucky knew him the longest, so yeah, he knows Steve. Um, but oh man, we get set up for Sam to be the next Captain America, and at first, watching back in the theater, I was like, why? I thought, why not? Honestly, I ain't gonna lie. I thought, why not give it to the Winter Soldier? Why not have him be the next Cap? Because I was thinking by way of the Super Soldier Serum. I was thinking by way of like that,
Hmm.
but then from watching Falcon and Winter Soldier, I'm like, okay, I can understand why Cap decided to give it to Sam. But you'll hopefully see it and either agree or maybe not agree. But
I think
um,
Sam needed it more than Bucky
yeah,
because he's the Winter Soldier. He's still Sam didn't. I don't know. He at this point he's not that major player. Like he needs something,
he
and
needs a he needs an upgrade. He needs
yeah.
that promotion essentially.
So I felt like even then I didn't like it then because I didn't want to see Captain. I didn't want to see Steve go. I didn't want to let go of him, But looking back, watching it didn't bother me, not nearly as bad. I
Would you
was
rather
like,
see
yeah,
old man
Sam's the right
Captain?
choice. What now?
Would you rather see old man Cap?
I mean, I was just,
That'd be interesting.
I wouldn't mind seeing Old Man Cap do something, or tell what he did in the '70s, But I just hated the idea that he went back. But I felt that was selfish because that's where he felt he needed to be. He was lonely, man. I mean, but
Also, and more I think about it, and we can end it here soon, but the more I think about it, it's he also knowing that Tony is dead. Why leave? Does he not? Does he? I guess he felt that the world is safe with
yeah,
the rest of the remaining Avengers and the rest of the. But if you think about it, uh, um what's the name? With the arrows. I can't forget his name.
Hawkeye.
I know Clint. Yeah, Hawkeye. I want to call him Clint, but yeah, he's retired essentially. Uh, Spider Man is it only patrols really New York, and then Iron Man's gone. You have Rhodey, but yeah, you know,
Yeah,
and and
wasn't back
Thor
in
is
the
going to be
greatest
off
time.
planet, and Captain Marvel's off planet. You have like America, like the world is not really doesn't really have a
Yeah, I
lot
mean,
of
I can see your point now, being selfish, but I mean, it's a, and we can talk about this for a minute. It's a blow to lose both.
Mhm.
I mean, because you look where they are right now, and a lot of people have been complaining about Phase 4. It's like they're not as compelling characters. As,
Yeah, the movies aren't as
and
yeah.
I can agree with that. I mean, I've liked all of them, but the ones that really stood out to me was Far From Home and
Yes.
Shang-Chi. The rest, they're entertaining to me, but I wouldn't call them great by any means.
Yeah.
And that
So
includes the last Doctor Strange. I think it's an entertaining movie, but it's,
yeah,
it's dropping the ball a little bit.
I don't know who like this is what my issue going forward is, and this maybe it's ignorance because I'm not familiar with the comics, but I don't know who who the Avengers who are the Avengers now.
I think you're
Like
gonna have two separate groups. I think you're gonna have Avengers, and Young Avengers.
so would the Avengers be just now Thor? I assume the new Black Widow will
Yeah.
emerge as
Now she's gonna
uh,
be Thunderbolts.
huh?
Winter Soldier, the new Black Widow is gonna be part of Thunderbolts.
Okay.
You're gonna get more group
Teams.
films.
Okay.
So I don't know if you'll get another like original
So
Avenger
so
film.
you think the Avengers themselves are done?
I th- it looks that way because look, you got Hulk left, but
Got Thor off planet. Thor's not coming back. I don't think.
yeah, he
Right?
said that this new Thor movie may be his last in the MCU, and I'm like, that doesn't sound good at all with with what we've already lost. Maybe he's just trying to get more people to go see it. I don't know. We'll see. But if they kill him or he just retires or whatever,
I mean, that could be the case. Like they could literally, which I don't know how I would feel if they have him like killed off or whatever, and now we will just have Natalie Portman as
oh, that
Thor
sounds
essentially.
awful.
Yeah.
Nothing against Natalie Portman. And I haven't seen the movie, obviously, but she's not my Thor.
Hashtag not
I'm
my Thor.
sorry. Nothing
Uh,
against her, and it's not because she's a woman. It's just Chris Hemsworth is Thor. I would be devastated if he left right now. I feel they need him desperately, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But they got to bring in a lot of new blood. So we'll see where it goes.
so
Not
yeah,
my Thor.
there you go. All right. Uh, but yeah, so it was funny. But yeah. Uh, all right. Well, we can go ahead because we're at hour 20. Um, before we get to I think it's gonna be unanimous between you and I as the best and the worst villains thus far. In like with this movie, including everything we watched. I'm gonna go ahead and name mine first. Best villain is Thanos, hands down. It's Thanos. Um, Now come Doctor Strange 2, it might change. But because she crazy. But the best hero has to be Iron Man by far. I think you gotta give the guy his flowers. I think that he deserves the accolades, in my opinion.
Best villain, I will agree with you. It is Thanos. Still, I will agree. Best heroes, I still gotta give it to Captain America.
You got to give it to a Cap. Is it because he has
I,
America's aim?
the whole pick. I mean, I love what Tony did and the sacrifice. I do. I love it, and it was the right decision. But I can't go against Cap. I can't.
Can't go against
But what
Cap.
I would like to ask you though, we hadn't done this in a while. Best film in the MCU at this point.
All right, yeah. So we haven't done that. All right, so
Mine has actually changed.
the best film in the MCU. Well, my favorite would still be um, Guardians of the Galaxy. I just had so much fun with that movie. But the best film in the MCU thus far would probably be Endgame, in my opinion, because and that's including is just thus far, or is this including everything we've seen
No,
after
this
this?
far
All right,
where we're
yeah,
at.
it'll be Endgame, because I don't know. I had so much fun watching this, man. And plus I love time travel, so that's always up my alley. So
Yeah,
I'm a mark for Back to the Future, so it just remind me of that. So I love that.
yeah. Mine was Winter Soldier, but I have to change it. What they accomplished in Endgame was amazing, and I didn't like Endgame as much as everybody at first. But rewatching it, and I was like, man, this is just comic books coming to life. It's definitely Endgame is the best. I mean, it's so much happened. Arcs got closure. I mean, it's just I loved it. It was amazing.
Well, let's go ahead and give our marks for this, and then, well, before we give our marks, I want to mention I do love like the title sequence at the end where they show like the cards of people. It reminded me of honestly Twilight. It's funny I say that because at the end of the Twilight saga, where all the Twilight movies, at the very last one, they're playing the song or whatever, um, but they're showing everyone that's been in the movie since the beginning, and
Oh,
and it give even uh, Bryce Dallas Howard, and then I think the other girl that played her before she took her spot. So they show both of them that played that character, and so I love that they kind of gave props. Although I wish they would have gave a shout out to Edward Norton for playing Hulk. That would
yeah.
have been great. But I know that they can't really do that. Um, but I love that they showed everybody like that. But then, like when it came to the Avengers, it came in. They got their own little title cards and like their name and then like their signature. And I just was like, man. And then when they left Iron Man for last and he came up there, I was like, yes. Like I remember cheering in theaters, and like I was marking out here watching that. But what were your thoughts on that little title card?
Oh, I didn't know Twilight. I hadn't seen the whole franchise was Twilight, so I did not know they did that. But I do agree with you. I think it was pretty cool that they did that. It's showing respect. Also, it's a very respectful thing to do. Say, hey, appreciate you for playing this character as long as you have. It's a thing for fans to enjoy as well. I mean, there's a lot of love that goes into these movies, not just with the actors playing, but to the fans. They're showing love to the fans, and you can't go wrong with that. Fan service, I guess, but
I like fan service. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong. A lot of people complain. Well, maybe not a lot, but on the internet, a lot of people complain. But yeah, I thought it was great what they did.
Okay. And then they ended with Tony's hammering the
Yeah,
steel, the iron in the cave. But yeah, uh, let's go ahead. So I'm gonna give this movie, no surprise, 5 markouts out of 5. Just was a fun movie all the way through. It's 3 hours, but it never is boring. I'm never
no, it
bored.
wasn't boring.
I was never bored. And from what I've heard about Elvis, I heard that that's the same experience, that you're never bored in that movie for 3 hours. And I felt that way. Top Gun wasn't Maverick wasn't 3 hours, but I was never bored in that. So
Yeah.
I love movies that even if they're long, you don't feel
Yeah, I
they don't feel
mean,
long. Like yesterday before I watched it, I was like, it's 3 hours. Oh man, I was thinking, oh, it's 3 hours. But as soon as I turned it on, man, it picks up and keeps going, and I was never bored.
I think with films like this, Elvis was like that too. It's a 3 hour movie, but it feels like maybe you've been watching maybe 40 minutes to maybe an hour. It just it flies by, and you're having so much fun. So I hate the films that feel like you're watching it for 8 hours and it's 2.5 hours. So but this was fun. Absolutely, I agree with you on that statement that it's 3 hours, but it didn't feel like it. It was fun. So I agree. And you froze on me. He froze on me again. He did the same thing last week. Aaron, can you hear me? Let me make sure he's not. Let me message him real quick. Can you see or hear me? Yep. But anyway, since he already gave his, I guess I'll give mine. It's no question about it. It's 5 markouts out of 5. This is such a treat. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed our review, our discussion of Avengers Endgame. I'm gonna make sure he's not resending me a link. But hopefully you've enjoyed it, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. If you're listening on the app, thank you for watching. And if you have not, and you did like this episode, click like.
Hey, I'm back.
And he's back. As I was
All right.
saying, click like and subscribe.
All right. So what I was going to say, Brandon, real quick before it does that again. I was going to say a movie that we watched that I felt dragged. It was like long and it felt long. It started feeling long while I was watching it. And I loved the movie. Was Everything Everywhere All at Once. There's that moment where you're
Oh
watching
yeah.
it and you're like, oh, we still got more movie to go. And I was like, because they do that little fake out thing, and it just makes you feel like, oh, well, shoot. Then you realize how long it is when it kept going. And you're like, oh, shoot, we still have more movie to watch.
Yeah, about that movie, I wanted to end like 20 to 30 minutes before it did. But yeah, but it was a great movie. It's gonna make one of my best films of the year. So
yeah. But all right, we'll go ahead and close. Brennan says like, comment, share, subscribe. Next week we're gonna be doing Far From Home.
yes, Far From Home.
And then followed by No Way Home, I believe is the logical conclusion.
I have no idea after that.
Yeah, and then after that, I honestly,
know the timeline.
yeah, and then I'll kind of usher Brandon along with that. Now I don't know when. I'm not gonna fit Venom in because we never fit him in at all, so I wouldn't fit him in at all in the timeline. I won't fit Morbius in because I feel like it's not really potent to what we're watching. So
I mean, it kind of is, but it's kind of not. I'd rather not watch it again, though. I can tell you that.
So we're not. But yeah, but I think that the timeline now on Disney Plus, it does show you where Shang-Chi and all that stuff lands with everything. So, but we're good on there. But the ones we gotta get out because I know that it's not gonna be on Disney Plus is Far From Home and No Way Home. So we're gonna watch those two back to back, and then go from there.
All right.
But all right, and then shoot, I don't know, because then you have Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. It's technically after No Way Home. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Wait a minute.
Well, we can look it up after next week's episode and see what actually comes
Yeah.
next.
Yeah, so we will do Far From Home next week, and then we'll go from there and see
Sounds good.
when we put everything else in there. But all right, Aaron Whitlow,
Brandon Spivey.
thank you for marking that with us on the Markout Movie Podcast. You have a good one.